I don't know if they're going to hear me through this. We're kind of doing a little bit of a podcast. So, hello, I'm going to go get rid of this
I
banner.
can
Oh,
hear you, but can you hear me, buddy?
yeah, I can hear you, JJ. I've just got the banner on here at the moment. So we're live. We're live doing a bit of a podcast. We've got I can see the chat. We've had Matt in from KOC, Gilster. Oh, where are we?
Oh, yeah.
Um, where am I going with this?
Garth Rock.
Yeah. And so we're gonna put our lovely faces on the camera now. So yeah.
Ah, hi. Ah, look, we're both wearing hats.
I know, yeah. My hair is long and unruly at the moment, so I had to put my hat on. So um
It's okay.
how are you, Jojo? How are you?
Yeah, sorry about the delay. I'm
That's all right.
okay. I took a while also because of the when I get up from the bed, it's still a little bit hard, and then sitting down. So if you see me grunt or do face, it comes and goes the pain, but I'll be fine. So don't worry.
That's all right. That's fine. That's fine. We've I think mostly people know that you've been on for an operation, right?
Yeah. It was for. It turned out I had 3 abdominal hernias before the
Oh,
operation, but then when he went in, it was 2 because the ones that were close together ended up tearing in between and became just a one big one. So he got that fixed up right away, and
right. Okay.
it is what it is. I had to get them done because if
Yeah.
not, they could have gone far worse. And
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
okay. I'm. It's a good pain. It's the one that'll go away eventually.
It's a good pain. Yeah. I like those good pains. I hate those bad pains. Um,
Yeah.
uh, yeah. Everybody in the chat, we're not both poster boys for G.I. Joe and Marvel at the moment because Hasbro
No,
being
no, no. We're
so
yeah,
you
yeah.
just
No, no, no.
yeah.
We're just simple people making our way through enjoying Marvel and GI Joe. That's it.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah. I thought, well, we could
Hey,
discuss because
Gilster.
hey, Gilster, we could discuss because it's been on my mind. It's been on some YouTube channels as well. That the fact that Disney has put their aura in again, blatantly though this time by the movie French Connection. To be quite honest with you. Um, why I say that is because I bring up the conversation or the things going around for this movie and more movies probably to come of the Disney Plus or Disney streaming services or corporation for that matter. So I thought, well, let's discuss it with JJ and myself to see what we think of this. If you don't know about it, it is about the cutting or re-editing actually or editing some of the French Connection. I abhor uh, racism, right? That's no question, right? Uh, and it's got something to do with this classic film. So Popeye is the detective in this. It's a 1970s film, and he's a cop. And unfortunately, Gene Hackman plays a racist cop. Now, this has been done in the 1970s. Remember, so at that time, I think the writer or the director actually said, "Well, let's do this character for verbatim." Okay, that so um, and now, as to, and we're not going to get, and I don't want to get into this um, uh, um, too much, but it's what we're sitting on. We're in this world at the moment is the woke culture, and the woke culture can be very fierce and very nasty to people who love movies and who've actually study movies like this, and saying that no, please don't, don't change it because this is this is history, okay, and uh, Disney's doing Disney's doing this because of they don't want to see the racist remarks of this character in this movie, right? So it won't be the last movie they'll do it to. It will be other movies as well. So again, I am, I don't condone racism at all, right? But this has been around, Galen. Um, this
Hey, Linda.
this movie has been around for years, and I don't know. What's your thoughts on this? On this, if you've heard this at all.
I don't like it. I the point of the character was to be that way. There's nothing wrong with the character being the way they were. It just, to me, it shows that we shouldn't be that way, you know. And if you want to go,
Sorry. I'm sorry, it was
it's
me.
okay. It's okay. If you're gonna make a French Connection movie without that, it's not gonna do. I mean, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna work. Some movies are made to be original and stay original without remakes, and they need and it has to be that way. And French Connection is one of them. And I think that for them to go back and make these movies in the way they want to now, you're destroying history, like you said. And the thing, that everybody's trying to do is bring racism in and trying to end it. Well, like our good actor once said, and coming from a black U.S. citizen, Morgan Freeman, they asked him, "How do you stop racism? Stop talking about it. I stop calling you a white man. You stop calling me a black man. I know you as so and so, and you know me as Morgan Freeman." And he's right. So the more we hear about this racism stuff, and then you put it into movies, it's never gonna end because it's just bringing up. And you cannot change a person from not liking somebody else's culture. That's their choice. If there's a reason why, then that's, you got to respect that and just stay away from that person. If there's no reason why and they just don't like somebody of that color or culture or whatever, then you're an idiot, or you just mean, and that's, again, you stay away from them. So, and I don't want to go out of what we're talking about. So going into the movie, you are changing something that shouldn't be changed, that should be left alone so you can teach people. This is a movie of how it was, how it is. It was in the 70s, but the way this actor played this character, that's how people can be. This is what we need to learn, either growing up or just seeing a movie and say, I don't want to be like that. Now, not everybody's going to change, and you can't change the world like that, but some people can change with movies. And
I mean, this was a time, 70s movies was a time of realism, you could say, and I think that's what the director wanted to. I think it was the director or writer. Excuse me for my ignorance on that, but he said something that resonated with me, and that's that he wrote this character or he directed this character because this is the real world character, right? We see people every day of our lives, right? So that's how you saw it in film, right? So,
And I'm glad you brought that up. I'm
so
glad you brought that up because that is perfect point of saying how realism is. And somebody who wants to be woke and say, well, that's not the way it should be or whatever, blah blah blah. Well, that's how it is. And again, you can't change. You can't change anybody from that, but we can still learn from it. And there's two ways of learning it from it. And especially like in that movie, one, not be that way, or two, if somebody is that way, just stay away from them.
mm, I mean, to be what's this? Racism is an attitudinal thing,
Good
not
point,
color
Linda.
based. Until people of any color across the globe changes their attitude, racism won't stop. Well, yeah,
No.
that's prevalent in societies. I think the my opinion, and I'm not going to stray off the topic of the film here, uh, but I will with this is that to change it, I think being talking about myself is to educate myself,
Hmm.
right? And that's all comes down to learning and educating yourself, and that means to be not to the education of the wrong education. I mean the right education. I mean, what I mean by right education is that you respect one another
Yeah.
wherever they come from and whoever they are in this life. Not to the wrong education where you are a woke person and you know, you obviously hate everything, um, and don't find any, and you're allowed to actually dislike something, of course, yes, and like something, but not to the to talk about myself. I'm not a woke person. I don't hate everything and everyone, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, but there's a difference to hating something and hating someone.
yeah,
Because hating something is a thing.
I
Hating
totally
someone,
gonna go.
no, I mean, but again, there's education, like you said, there's education for the good, but there's education for the bad. Now, I can say maybe the education part for the bad is, and I don't think it's bad, but it was like I said, if you have somebody who dislikes somebody, you're not gonna want to hang around with them. You just stay away from them.
Yeah,
Leave them be. It's
but
their
respect
life.
them. But
Yeah,
respect
no, no,
them.
no. Respect them. I'm not saying be like, oh, the hell with you. But
Yeah.
you just stay away. But again, we're not going into that. We're going into the movie, and um, it's sad if they bring this movie in, and more than likely they are. And it's like Gilster said, they're gonna make more movies like that to come.
Mm,
And the sad part about it is that if we do not find these movies, the original French Connection in Blu-ray or DVD, and it's gone forever, when this new one comes around, our younger people or future kids or future people later on are not going to know
mm.
what the French Connection really was
Yeah,
really
I mean,
about.
I would suggest on that, and that's a good point that revolves around that is that I luckily I found this a couple of days ago in one of my record and DVD stores, right?
Yeah,
I would say to that to go out and vote with your wallet. I mean, that's the main phrase today, is to go and
yeah,
find a copy that it's not going to be re-edited. It's going to tell you, it's because this is a film classic, right? This is a film for the ages to watch, and I just don't think, and this comes from, again, I may be wrong in this point with another point that I should make out, that Disney Plus, uh, it's coming from it's coming from a place. Please comment down below if you're going to watch this on replay and say that I'm wrong. But I'm putting it out there and saying this whole argumentative thing that what they're doing for French Connection and probably other films such as James Bond films are misogynistic in that era, right? They might be re-editing. Yeah. This has got to do with something of a corporate-wise decision of getting films from Disney Plus's category or catalog, sorry, and saying that, oh, we can't have this on our channel because on our streaming services because it doesn't paint a very good picture for us, right? Mm-hmm. So, yeah. But really, James Bond's not on. What I'm saying, James Bond movies of that time, 60s, the 70s, and some of the 80s, were misogynistic, right?
Oh yeah,
and yeah, right. But the thing is that they're not on Disney Plus. But I really hope no one's going to come to their editing and saying that no, we've got to take out all this misogynistic kind of stuff because it doesn't relate to it today, right? Because it's the Me Too movement, and I do, I'm not going to say any offense to the Me Too movement, right? But the thing is that for film buffs like me, like you, JJ, or like anybody in our chat or anybody I've talked to or talked about, right? I think go and find these movies, keep them in your catalog, and yes, and start kind of educating people and because I've studied movies, I've studied film in university, so I've done essays on it because what I'm trying to say is that
hey Duff man, how you doing?
What I'm trying to say is to have an open mind. You could say in layman's terms, discuss it even, okay, right? But where am I going with this? I think.
I understand what you're. I understand what you're saying. And it's more like it's more like you said. Find the originality so you can show them what. Because okay. The way I'm picturing it of the way you're saying is we have the old French Connection and then we're going to get this new French Connection. Let's say we're already in 10 years and people don't even know what the old French Connection is about. The new, like I said, the new people will never be open-minded to know what it is about because when they see this new one, they're going to just be, the way they are. But if you go back and show them and they're like, well, that's racist and blah, but you let them know this is how it was back then. This is how it still is right now. Because the truth is the world has not changed. People says, oh, it's getting worse. No, it's not worse. It's just in a certain point, it has changed because there's more people in this world now than there was back in the 70s. But it's always been the same. The only reason it looks worse is because we have TV, we have social media, we have these. So we're connected around the world right away to know, what is going on. And the whole history, like French Connection and all this other stuff, is being taken away because they want to go with this movement. And that's fine. If you want to follow that movement, that's fine. But don't get into other people's, don't hate me because I like the old one more than the new one.
Yeah.
Because the new one had a reason for it, and it kind of spoke the truth to it instead of the new one. And be open-minded to discuss this situation of why I like this movie, even though it looks bad, when there's a reason for it, instead of being like, well, no, you should follow this one because this is the way it is. And it's like, not necessarily, because where you're at, it might not be that way. We're all different cultures, and we're all going to be hated in a certain way, and we can't stop those people from hating us, but we can educate others to not be that way. We can educate ourselves, like you said, to not be that way and show respect. And sometimes these movies will do that, and And we cannot let that history get lost. I mean, because once history is lost, hey,
Mm.
you that like I say, history always repeats itself, and it's gonna keep on repeating. But when you take that history away that happened, you know, what are we gonna learn? We're not gonna learn anything. We're
No,
not, because again,
exactly.
history repeats itself, and these young people are not gonna learn that. You know, and that's why. Okay, and I'm not trying to go off subject, but it'll lead me to the point of what I'm saying with the movie. 100 years ago, we had the Spanish flu. Okay, so 100 years later, we have this coronavirus, and the coronavirus didn't. I mean, it did worry me, but that's
Mm.
not what worried me the most. What worried me the most was what was going to happen after the coronavirus, because not a lot of people realize that after the Spanish flu, right afterward is when the United States went downfall with the Great Depression. So, like I say, history repeats itself. And if this is happening with the coronavirus, what's going to happen next? Are we going to have a world depression? Now,
Mm.
leading back to this French Connection. If you do not know the history of the French Connection by the way the character Gene Hackman was played, history is going to repeat itself, and you're going to have more people dividing themselves without knowing the truth about a movie. And you may say it's a movie, it's fake, whatever, but sometimes there's meaning to these movies. That's why
Oh
they're
yeah,
called. That's why they have
yeah,
That's why they have writers, because there's
yeah,
meanings to it. They
yeah.
see things. Some of this stuff comes out from the real world. So you take history away from what's truth and puts false stuff, you're gonna divide a country up even more, or you're gonna divide the world up even more because
Oh
it's
yeah,
false, and people are gonna be
exactly.
like, no, no, no,
And you can actually put that into Star Wars. To be quite honest with you, it's
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's not dealing with real world things, but it has the division that it didn't once have, right? Back in the
Yeah, I don't know.
70s and 80s, right? And some of the
Yeah.
90s, right? It's now got division solely upon whether you hate it or you like it. And the majority of people from the sequels, be it from Force Awakens to either you like it a bit more than you do the Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, right? Because and then you get the divisive remarks, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of I'm kind of with you guys on the division, right? On that, but um, yes, and it's open to discussion, but it's open to discussion whether you're not gonna go out and kill that person, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna go overboard and 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 do the nasty things, uh, because you don't like the film that much. But what I'm trying to say is that uh, they changed Star Wars, okay, and there's the division, okay. Now,
Mm-hmm.
being the French
Well,
Connection, you re-edit that scene out of the French Connection of Popeye saying the horrible racist word because he was a
yeah.
racist, right? That means yes, you're not giving any room for yourself to be taught or learn from the realistic interpretations of a cop or someone else, or
Mm-hmm.
are you going to get Ian Fleming's James Bond books and re-edit them, right? Because at the
Well, if you're
time,
gonna do that, you're gonna do the same thing with. Okay, here's another one that I can say that should never be re-edited or redone or remade or whatever the heck you want to call it. But more than likely, it'll happen because it has changed a lot. Full Metal Jacket.
hmm,
Full Metal
hmm,
Jacket back then. I mean, a Marine vet from back then will tell you the way it was, and they can tell you that Full Metal Jacket was almost the way it was. Now that they've been very lenient with the United States Marines in some different ways that they taken off a lot of things, it's very different. So if you talk to now a drill sergeant now, and they see that movie, they'll tell you their perspective. It's like, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. We don't do this, we don't do that. It's changed, but that doesn't mean you have to remake that movie to make it what's now,
Mm.
because what you see there is what we need to learn to maybe do or not do. But then again, this is military. I mean, war is war, and I just I don't like that they're gonna do that with French Connection, because this is the thing that people need to see to realize that this shouldn't be the way it should
Yeah.
be,
No, exactly.
and that we need to,
Yeah.
instead of removing that,
Yeah.
you know, leave it the way it is so we can learn and restructure it differently. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Eh,
it takes away from from history. I think they've gone
mhm.
way too far in just meddling with a film like that or other films that they might get a hold of, like Full Metal Jacket, and so that um, we're going to take out Vincent D'Onofrio's suicide scene, because it's
Yeah.
blatant and it's too real. Okay, you take out that scene, right? Uh, you're you're now really going overboard, and now you're really not letting people see what
Hi,
yes,
Cat.
what you've just said, Kat, what you've just said, right? The
Hmm.
learning aspect of it. Don't go there. There are other
Yeah.
ways to go there. I mean, yeah, Kat,
Well,
how?
you know how, and if you don't want to go with like real life or uh, true event kind of deals, it's like you said, going back to Star Wars. We don't even have to talk about the sequels. Let's go back to our OG ones. A lot of us don't like the special edition stuff.
Yeah,
We want
yeah,
the old stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's nice that they added in new this, new that in the OGs, you know. But I don't want see, and I'll say why, and just to explain why, um, just because of one character, Han Solo. Okay, when we see Han Solo back in Star Wars 77, 80, and 83, which is, of course, Star Wars Empire Strikes Back and Return of the
yeah.
Jedi, or New Hope, whatever you want to call it, we see a scoundrel. We see a jerk. Okay? So all these changes that they're doing for him, instead of keeping it original, is messing up the arc of that character. Now, some people might disagree with me or not, and that's fine. But when he meets up with Jabba at the docking bay, it should have never happened. The reason Jabba was a mystery and was so interesting because we didn't know who he was. Yeah, I know that everybody's gonna know who Star Wars is and who Jabba is, and yeah, if you throw him in there now, everybody knows. Who knows? Yeah, I mean, because it's been out for so many years. But for somebody sometimes that are new kids, they're gonna be like, "Who's Jabba?" If you show them OG, and I'm talking about OG, they're gonna be like, "Who's Jabba?" It's like, wait till you see the next movies. They're gonna be like, "Okay, I want to see the next movies." It's like there's no Jabba. Okay, just wait. We have one
Mm.
more movie, and then it's like, "Oh, that's Jabba." Yeah, you know, this whole thing about who shot first, who. When you allow Han Solo to let Greedo, and this is my perspective on that. When you allow Han Solo to let Greedo shoot first or shoot at the same time, you know, the original, yeah, I've seen the
Yeah,
deleted scenes. That's true.
yeah, I was going to mention that to you,
Um,
Jay. That
yeah,
he was.
but to me, I don't care about that. I don't care about deleted scenes. I mean, it's cool. They're cool, but to me, it's the movie. There was no Jabba.
Yeah, yeah,
The whole who shot who first stuff. When you allow your enemy to shoot, and either way they miss or not, that kind of shows you still have some compassion to your enemy. When if you're a scoundrel, you do not let him shoot first. That's why he had the gun underneath the table and shot him right away. Now you're adding McClunky and all this other junk. It takes the character away from where he started to how he became this loving person that fell in love with this princess. And you know that's where the original Star Wars meant for that character. Now in these special editions, hey Darth
Darth.
Rock, still glad you're still here.
Yeah.
Um, with these special editions, just because you add Jabba and you let Greedo shoot and all that, it just changes the perspective of the character, and
Yeah,
it's sad, you know.
a lot of that stuff, re-edits and put back ins, you could say, was Lucas himself. He went back to the movies and
I know.
himself, right? So the only person you can blame is Lucas himself to actually put those in.
But
You know,
still, just say and I'm not trying to go into Star Wars or anything, but it's just a prime example of how us older generations that saw the original Star Wars first are always going to want those originals more than the special edition ones. And
yeah.
again, that's where and if you think about it, uh oh, I'm sorry to hear Darth Rock.
Oh, uh,
My
I'm sorry.
condolences to you and to the family of your best friend.
Yeah, that's
My
sad.
condolences.
Sad. So, yeah.
We'll have you in
Got
our prayers.
the news today that I don't know whether I should actually say that, but dog Abby, Michael's dog, got diagnosed with cancer. So, yeah, my condolences from me as well. So, of course, yeah, from your loss. So, his friend.
It doesn't matter if Abby was a dog, Darth. That was still family.
Yeah,
Animals
pets are.
become your family. They're like kids that actually do listen sometimes. And I'm sorry to hear that. So my condolences. But you know, it's just going back. Uh, you cannot and see here's the deal. We cannot find. We cannot find what did she say? Reminds me of the good and bad
Reminds me of
everywhere.
the good
When
and
he's
bad
in
everywhere.
bath, shoots the
When
dude and simply says,
yeah,
"When you need to shoot, you."
shoot, yeah.
So
You don't
going back to
talk
French
too much.
Connection,
Shoot. Shoot. Because don't talk, just shoot. So,
shoot, yeah. So going back to French Connection, it's the same thing. It'll end up becoming the same thing like Star Wars. If you cannot find the originals, they're lost. We haven't had the original Star Wars is out at
no,
all. They've
no.
come out
I
on
mean,
Blu-ray. The special editions have
yeah,
come out on Blu-ray. They've come out on
yeah.
Disney Plus, but we don't have the OG.
There was
And it's
yeah, there was something about that Return of the Jedi screenings that they weren't that wasn't the original screening of Return of the Jedi. It was
yeah,
uh,
no, it was the special edition,
yeah, special edition, which means I, people were saying that it should have been this. Yes, a special edition, but it should have been the
the
old
original.
original special edition.
Yeah,
So
with
I
Yub
do.
Nub,
Yeah.
none of that flute
Mm.
crap and all that. That's what that pissed me off too. I didn't like that ending of Star Wars, of Return of the Jedi. I like when the Ewoks were actually that, and see that's there you go again. You're taking something out of these characters that just you replace it with instrumental, with a musical, with that it doesn't even go with those characters. When you hear them hitting, there was a purpose. They celebrate because the Endor was free,
Yeah.
and you kind of take that out. But again, going back, what happened to the originals with the special editions is gonna happen to French Connection with Gene Hackman if you don't have the original. It's not going to be there for us to have. I mean, it's not lost, but we won't be able to get them because they're
No,
not going to want to bring them out.
you won't be able to view them because you'll be viewing the re-edited versions. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
if you haven't seen French Connection, and I'm really hoping that they don't do re-edit the French Connection too, because that's when Popeye really goes down into cocaine abusing drugs, right? And that's another good film.
Well,
But
it goes a step further with him being a lot worse than what he was the first time.
the
Which he
thing
was
is,
already bad, but
you put on a good point here because that thing that with the French Connection is that if you haven't seen French Connection, if you don't know the film, right, and you think it's going to be a really good film because it is a film, you're going to sit there and you're going to say, um, okay, I've heard all the discussions and the arguments about re-editing, right? But I've watched it. I've watched the re-edited thing, right? That
yeah,
means that uh, you're kind of watching something from history that you should be watching the original version. What's going to be what's going to be the factor in this is that when all these French Connection original copies go like DVDs stuff like that, when you can't find them, when it's so prevalent in history that this French Connection is going to be so hard to find, even on DVD and Blu-ray, right? Like some films are, right?
mm-hmm.
Um, you're not going to get a chance to actually see the original because they're all being sold out or gone, right, from history.
Yeah,
So you've thanks Disney, thanks for fucking that up. Excuse the language, right? Um, because because you'll be hunting down again with the films of the 70s and some of the 80s and even
yeah.
60s movies and saying that, are you going to change Clockwork Orange on us, right? Please don't do that.
You can't do that. Again, there's movies that should stay original. Look, here's a movie that they want to remake again, and I God forbid they don't, because it's almost close to 100. Next decade it'll be 100 years, and that's one of my number one movie of all time, Wizard of Oz. There's no
What?
blatant reason to change that at all.
What's the movie?
Wizard of Oz.
Oh, Wizard of Oz. Sorry, I thought you said Lizard of Oz.
Yeah,
What's
no,
Lizard of Oz?
Wizard of Oz.
Yes.
Lizard of Oz. That, what are we talking about? Spider Verse Lizard of Oz. That's a good one.
My ears just went Lizard of Oz.
Wow, I don't know what movie you're watching, but it sounds great.
Yes, probably the porn one
No,
or
Wizard
something.
of Oz shouldn't be remade at all. I know they've done a prequel movie of it. I know they've done a sequel movie to it with what's her name, Bobby Boucher's girlfriend, but that's different.
Right.
On another one is Gone with the Wind. What are they gonna redo that one too? Because he was a jerk, or like the one in Casablanca, they was a jerk too. They're gonna re-edit those because that's bad, and I mean, I don't know. It's just it's just, you don't take the originality out of the old movies, whether they're very difficult to watch, and you don't need to dumb it down. No remakes ever. I agree, Gilster, because then to me, when you make a remake, you don't have skills to make up a story.
Well, the problem with that, Gilster, is that um, I like your sentiment, but the problem is with that is that they are making remakes. They have made remakes of
Oh, a
of,
bunch.
of films, uh,
You'll be
uh,
surprised. Yeah.
uh, but what they're doing, what they're doing is taking and re-editing it out some real life lines or of characters that should be in the film already. Right?
Mm-hmm.
They're not remaking it. They're destroying it for you know you know, and what they're destroying is, I'm sorry to say this, is history. Yes, racism is bad. I don't condone it, but real world characters, in a sense, in these 1970s films up until now, should be kept OG. They shouldn't be tampered with, right?
Mm-hmm.
Films like that should be tampered with. They should be left alone, right? To educate and have people learn from what this movie's about, or do essays on if you're going to university like I did, right? What are they going to do? What are they going to say about Ripley? Okay, being in Aliens, are they going to actually redo that and say that no, she wasn't the first female kick-ass bloody femme fatale on our screens? She was. There's no question. Okay. Uh, what are they going to do with Taxi Driver? Are they going to say that no, we can't have Robert De Niro voicing his opinion, saying, "Are you talking to me?" In front of a mirror, right, and being violent? Okay, because if they take away this kind of history with all these films that I've just suggested and more, you're destroying history. Enough is enough, Disney Plus. Okay, stop tampering with films that really are a educational tool and enjoyable to watch. You know, it's that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's my diatribe. Sorry, you know. You know,
I think you and I agree to what we both agree on the same thing, that we shouldn't, they shouldn't remove it. So I think we're both at a win-win with that, in agreements. The bad part is it's a lose-lose situation when they're gonna actually um remake it. For me, I'm not gonna watch it. I'm not gonna watch it.
no,
If it's
I mean,
changed a lot, I'm not gonna watch it. No.
yeah, I mean, I would suggest as a friend, go out, people anywhere, and go and buy the original on DVD, even on VHS. Go and buy it on, so we got a VHS, right? Go old school and buy it and watch the original. So that's sorry. What's this, Linda? The biggest part of the Star Wars editing for episode 1, 2, and 3 is that
She meant to say 4, 5, and 6. She meant
right.
to say the originals.
Actually won awards for yeah, there you go, 4 and 5, 6. There we go.
Well, yeah, they won awards because they did originality. They did, practical effects, like she says, digitizing, and you can tell, you can tell, and it just brings the Star Wars out. I mean, granted, there, I'm gonna be one of the first ones to admit, or many probably have admit, I love my originals. I didn't need no special editions, but since they're out there, I'll still watch them because they're Star Wars.
Yeah,
No doubt about it.
same.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna like the whole, another thing that really I didn't like, which they added in the Blu-ray edition, was when Darth Vader was like, "No, no." There was no reason for him to say no. Him just picking up Palpatine without saying anything was just, I mean, that changes the character also. Because a silent person is a lot more scarier than somebody who yells, if you get what I'm saying.
I think I didn't mask well, did it? What I'm saying is,
No, because if I was okay, let's say that was if I was the Emperor and I hear Darth Vader like, "No," I'm like, okay, you too, But I guess the Emperor, since his force was so low, he was concentrating all his force on Luke. He couldn't hear Darth Vader say, "No, no," and got killed. I mean, Darth Vader.
When you see that scene when you're going no, it just didn't. It just felt very forced. It felt like that no wasn't synced up with Vader moving with the Emperor for chucking him down, for throwing him down. Right? It just didn't track well. Right? The no. I think that was a wrong decision.
Yeah, another wrong decision, and I know that. I mean, I don't. It's not a big deal to me because I do like Tamora Morrison, but I think they should have just kept the original Boba Fett voice in it. The whole "he's no good to me, Dad," instead of putting Tamora Morrison's voice. And the reason for that is because in episode 2, when the Kaminoan, I can't even say the name right. The
Neon.
one with the the long neck species. I can't
Yeah.
say it right. I'm sorry. I know what they're called, but I just can't say it right now. But when she was mentioning it to Obi-Wan, she was saying that he wanted a different clone of his own to be like his own son. And to me, if he's like his own son without the growth and all that, and it's like a perfect version of Jango Fett but different, then he's not gonna be like the other clones, then they should have never changed the voice, because that'll be saying like, hey, Boba Fett is different from the clones. He's not a clone. He's a different version. He may be a clone, but he's something different. So having a different voice would have been all right. They should have just kept the original voice. But again, I understand why they do it. He was a part of the clone making of clones, but a different kind, and that's where they went off with that, and that's fine. I mean,
As as
oh,
as as you
another one. Yeah, Linda's right.
yeah, I saw that. I saw that. I mean, but can I just actually say about Timura Morrison? Um, he does actually agree with the Book of Boba Fett, and then I'll link this back to your comment about the voice change from the actor from the originals uh, to Timura Morrison's
Tim.
voice. I uh, when Timura Morrison did Book of Boba Fett, he in a interview, I think it was an interview, and actually he did comment on an interview when that finished about the Book of Boba Fett and about Boba Fett and how he was portrayed in The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. He was a bounty hunter, a fierce, mysterious bounty hunter, right? Out for bounties. That was it. Okay, so when they finished Book of Boba Fett, I think Timura Morrison probably answered the question, or he says that no, he didn't like the character he was playing in Book of Boba Fett, okay, without being facetious or mean to Jon Favreau or to Dave Filoni or to Robert Rodriguez, right? Just so if he sees all this right stuff, he's going to lose his job, right? That's how things work in Hollywood. Thing is that okay, he said all this stuff, and he was quite right because I think he told a story that he was on the phone with Jon Favreau on a plane. Jon Favreau was flying back from somewhere to get to where he is, right? And he was writing the Book of Boba Fett. I think he had writing some of the Book of Boba Fett, okay?
Yeah.
Or something like that. He was on the plane. He rang Jon Favreau on the plane and says that this is Tim saying, I really don't like this character, how it's going. I think he should be more mysterious and more action orientated and like of old Boba Fett was, right? Jon Favreau completely ignored that and says that says probably I'm paraphrasing. I could be wrong about the story, but I know that Tim Morrison said this, right?
I heard something like that. Yeah.
And I think Tim was probably ignored and saying that no, we wrote it how we wrote it, and that's what you're going to get. Okay,
Yeah.
that's it. The story wrote, but story, and then Book of Boba Fett, right, was as it
Yeah.
was. Thing
Yeah.
is that he's also right, and jokingly, last couple of months ago, I'll tell you this, and then we'll swing back to that. I'll tell you this. He again jokingly in a Comic Con or a con that he went to said to some press, right, and he was jokingly at this point, nearly reiterated the point of his character, Book of Boba Fett. Okay, but only jokingly, not seriously, because if he joked about it too much and put a serious tone on it, he would have been like Cara Dune's character, Gina Carano, out the door.
Yeah.
See you later. We're not going to employ you. Okay.
Yeah.
But people took that out of contrast, and some of the pundits and YouTubers took that out of contrast and saying, no, he was being serious. He wasn't, people. He was having a joke, right? But he does agree. What my point is, he does agree, probably with the fans and himself, that the character of Boba Fett should be fierce, a bounty hunter, mysterious, and a badass. right?
Mm-hmm.
Not something that the Book of Boba Fett had him do. Okay,
Yeah.
right? Because it changed the whole dynamic. Right, getting back to Empire Strikes
I
Back.
keep on
Right,
collecting. Good to see you again.
Matt, getting back to the Empire Strikes Back, that wording, right? That the original voice, right? I absolutely loved it myself. So I agree with you there. Okay. In actual fact, if you can hear the cadence of Timura Morrison's voiceover, right, and that
Mm-hmm.
wording, he's trying his hardest to get to the original cadence. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
When the original says that he's not good to me, Dad, right?
He had
And you
that
can
raspy voice.
right? Yeah, that raspy voice. You can hear the slight indication of Timur Morrison's cadence as a Kiwi Maori, right? He's no good to
Mm-hmm.
me, Dad, right? So he's getting this slight cadence difference in his voice, but he's. I think he's trying to actually get to the original voiceover. But
He
that's
is.
that's me. I mean, I could be totally wrong in what I'm saying,
I
JJ.
mean, no, no, no. I agree with you because when I heard him, it's like he because I remember them saying that they were changing the voice, and when I was watching it again, I totally forgot when Vader spoke to him is like "as you wish" or whatever. I was like "as you wish," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I forgot the change." And I would hear it, and he was trying, but I didn't like it. I love the
I mean,
original. Now,
it is.
now
It is.
if
Yeah.
and but see, and I know why they did it because they were gonna do the Book of Boba Fett. But to me, there's a way of changing it. You didn't have to change that voice. All you had to do on Book of Boba Fett is have him with Shenik Fan when they went to the Sarlacc pit. You could have said, "Oh, my voice communicator was damaged,"
Point. That's a good point. That's just
and then it's his original. It's the Tamara Morrison
yeah,
voice instead of
yeah,
instead of having Jeremy Bullock's voice
yeah,
in Book of Boba Fett.
yeah.
Or Tamara Morrison's in Empire Strikes Back, keep Jeremy Bullock's voice, but it was a voice, like a voice changer, to make him mysterious. Again, he's mysterious, correct?
That's a good point. That's a
He's
very
no
good
good
point.
to me,
Yeah,
dead.
yeah, it's a
He
very
could have
good
told
point.
Shenik, "Oh, my voice changer was damaged in the process of being eaten by the Sarlacc," or some bullshit like that. I don't know, but I
Yeah,
think that they could have gone that way. Now
yeah,
going back,
it's a very good
huh?
fact on point that they should have. Thanks for the name Jeremy Bullock because I've forgotten the name, but the thing is that that would have worked as well, and absolutely would have worked. So yeah, keep because I mean I'm sorry, I mean Boba Fett only spoke a smattering of words in the entire film, right? Okay, so they could have kept it in there, Jeremy
Yeah,
Bullock's voiceover. But the thing was that I mean I don't know why again you had a good point because again George Lucas probably thought well he's going to be in the 1, 2, and 3, right?
yeah,
Right, and we've got Tim Miller Morrison now as Boba Fett. Let's change the voice
yeah,
in
and I don't think,
4, 5, and 6, right?
yeah,
So
no.
that's the argument and disagreement that really, I mean, you hit upon a really good point, right? Stick with
Well,
Jeremy
thank you.
Bullock's original voiceovers, and then because I don't think you would have heard the voice raspy cadence, right?
Well, here's
Of
another thing,
Jeremy
Pete, that
Bullock.
it kind of messes up Boba Fett in Return of the Jedi because they still kept the original scream when he gets hit. And that's not Tamara Morrison's voice. So
No,
why'd you keep the scream, but you changed the voice in Empire? No sense at all. But whatever. But you
no,
know what? Stopping with Boba and going on with what Linda said, I agree. She says she don't like the Hayden, Force Ghost Hayden. I don't either. Honestly, that's another thing that never had to be changed. I know that Hayden Christensen is Anakin Skywalker, but guess what? And I think Linda would agree with me on this. I don't know if you would, but they should have kept the older Anakin Skywalker because he was redeemed when he was. I know he was burned up and all that, but I think they could have just said this is how he would have looked if he was never burned. And they should have just kept the older Anakin instead of putting
Yes,
a
I
young
mean,
Anakin.
it made a lot of sense in the originals. Yes, with David, was it David Prowse?
I think so. I think it was a
Uh,
good, yeah.
where his Force Ghost was standing next to Yoda and Obi-Wan. I think because he was killed when he was older. He wasn't killed when he was Anakin, and Anakin
Yeah.
looked different. I think that's a good argument to make, but they made it and then they changed it because Hayden Christensen was Darth Vader, right? So I think I'm in the majority here that's saying that. Yes, I do agree with you that they should have actually not changed it. As from David Prowse uh, um, to Hayden Christensen. So yes, I do agree with you.
Thank you.
Sebastian Shaw. Sorry, thank you. Yes, you're right. I correct. Thanks, Linda. You corrected me. Where did I get David Prowse from? Anyway, Sebastian Shaw. That's right. I'll switch.
Yeah, Sebastian Shaw. Yeah,
What
I
I
was
what
gonna
I
say.
what I said. All I said. People replace um, uh, the actor that I talked about to Sebastian Shaw. So when you watch this on replay, get your pens and papers out and then write in Sebastian Shaw when I keep on saying Prowse. Okay, that's something that you can do at home. So fun for the whole family. There we go. So,
But I mean,
uh,
that's the way I see it. But anyways, but we so far been in agreements with everything that we've said. Is there any other topic you want to jump into that we can discuss about to see if we agree or disagree?
no, I think we've done. I think we could say we could probably good discussion today, actually, or tonight. We could leave another topic for next time, as it's ticking over 1 hour and 21 minutes. So,
Well, it's 1 hour and 21 minutes, but we've only had actually 50 minutes of discussion because I
oh,
arrived
okay.
late.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So I'm good to go another 10, 20 minutes if you
All
want.
right. I guess I guess that well there's not really much. Oh, well, there was a problem with Leslie Headland saying something about because she was doing Acolyte. I don't know if everybody's.
Oh yeah. What was? I know she was doing something with Acolyte, but what was going on?
Yeah, I think she's the showrunner for Acolyte, and she said a few very unchoice words about uh, not being George Lucas not property but storyline that bent some Star Wars fans out of shape. That she thinks that uh, it's anybody's story, right? It's everybody's
Hmm.
story, Star Wars, and um, he wasn't the full owner of that. I'm paraphrasing here. I'm trying to get it out of my brain, but the words weren't kind. They were a little bit kind of facetious and arrogant to say that George Lucas. Kind of almost denouncing George Lucas was the founder of or the storyteller of Star Wars, right?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
I when I saw this on Star Wars Theory, good channel to get you the right truthful news. That I
Mhm.
didn't agree with Leslie Headley's remarks on that. And that's all I'm saying. That's the discussion as we can get into, but. Um, and
Uh,
that's coming from a Kathleen Kennedy kind of um, uh, enjoying your chat, guys. Thanks.
Thanks. Keep on collecting. And Linda, the baby's asleep in her crib. Yeah,
Um,
she's
but
out.
that's I don't know whether we can discuss that if you know anything about
Well,
that,
let
Jake.
me. We can make that as a discussion for the next one. Let me look into that.
Yeah,
I guess one discussion that I could say that we can agree on to talk about right now that when
yeah.
it's leading to Star Wars is actually we're gonna have Ahsoka coming out pretty soon,
It's
and it's sad to hear. I know this was think it happened during when I was having surgery, maybe a week or two ago. No, 3 weeks ago, I think, before surgery. The passing of Ray Stevenson,
Ray
which was
Stevenson, yes, yes, very sad, very
um,
sad.
what
Um,
would you what do you think about him coming out as this mercenary? You think it'll bring some shine out of him now after his passing? You think people are gonna love his character,
I
or
think
you
they
think
will.
they'll love the character of the passing after his passing, or just
No,
because sometimes and I hope you understand what I'm saying, because like I said, here's another example. A lot of people ended up loving Heath Ledger's Joker, not because that kind of Joker, but because of his passing and the way he did that, the way he acted out as the Joker, not because of the character, but because of the way he portrayed it and of his passing. So pretty much a lot of them loved it because of his passing. So I'm wondering, you think this character is going to be loved because of the way it's being played, or because it's the person that played him that passed on? If you get what I mean.
I um I think Ray Stevenson is a fantastic actor. Yeah, he's everybody's seen him and knows him from Thor, of course, the one of
I
the
know him as
characters,
Punisher,
and Punisher. Yeah, of course. I mean,
Warzone.
um, uh, but Ray Stevenson, I think he would be remembered um, as an actor, and I think everybody would like his character. They'll now that, of course, it's very sad that he's going on, but I mean, he would have given everything he got for that role that he was playing. Um, he would have been blessed, and he was blessed in playing that character. You can hear it in his excitement for when he was up there on stage at Celebration not so long ago. Um, all I can say is that okay, it won't be the same as Heath Ledger, of course. Um,
Okay.
but what I'm saying is that um, I think when you see him, it will be a good character to watch.
Okay.
Um, I think, um, yeah, Heath Ledger he was different in a way. He was iconic in a way
Okay.
as the Joker. He wanted to come out and really portray the character as the Joker more menacing as to Jack Nicholson's
Yeah.
portrayal. And he did it with fervor and fervent and a fierce looking Sid
Who are you
Vicious.
talking about, Linda? Who played Shane in The Walking Dead? Because that's John Berthal.
Yeah. Um, um, but I think they will remember Ray Stevenson as a wonderful actor and um, great character in Star Wars. I, I think we've got to leave it up to open minds, JJ, with
Okay.
this, with me. We haven't seen Ahsoka yet. We've only seen the trailers, right? So,
Linda,
um,
I'm sorry to cut you. Linda, there was a movie called Punisher Warzone.
yeah,
It was right after the Tom Jane one, which Tom Jane actually did the Punisher, and of course, a lot of people don't know this, but maybe some do, and I think a lot of us do. Thomas Jane wasn't really the first Punisher in a movie. It was actually Dolph Lundgren who played the first
that's
Punisher,
right.
but he didn't really have the Punisher suit.
Mm.
Then Thomas Jane came in, and then right after that they made it was one of the Marvel Knights movie, which was I think they made only two, which was Blade 3 and then this one, and it was Punisher Warzone, which was a lot more violent. It was rated R. There was a part
Very
where you see
underrated.
him, Linda, with a broken nose, and he actually sticks a pinto in his nose and put his nose back in place. It's crazy.
Very underrated that the Punisher Warzone. You know, I mean,
Who?
it, it's going to be iconic now because of Ray Stevenson. Um,
A lot of people like that one more. I mean, I liked both.
yeah,
You know, I like both. And then actually, you actually had one of the comic book villains actually come out, which was Jigsaw, and the guy that played Jigsaw really good. I mean, it was crazy how they did the makeup and everything to make him look like he was really cut up. But check it out, and it's Punisher Warzone, and that's with Ray Stevenson passing. The
But
the next Punisher was John Bernthal from Walking Dead, who actually did the series, not a movie, but he did the series of Punisher.
that was good too. Enjoyed that.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, Linda, Punisher Warzone came out in 2008. The first one the Thomas Jane one came out in 2004. I remember that one because I was still in school.
Oh, being.
Anyways, I'm sorry.
Speaking of like, I'm going to move into action figures, right? Did you see any of the Valleyverse stream? Because I caught it on the replay.
No, I didn't get to see the Valverse stream. I did see pictures of the new vehicles and everything, and I mean, I know a lot of people don't like them. I know that some of the people in UK are like, that's not Action Force, but the way they're making these characters, I have one actually. Where is he? He's right here. It's a Desert Rat, I think they call him. And I like them. I really like these. These are really cool. Oh, actually, I got two. I forgot. I had the Sergeant Slaughter version 2 as well, but that one's boxed up. So, but I like this, and I think the owner of Valaverse is doing a great job with
playing around.
That's okay. It's doing a great job with these action force. They're making them their own. You know, because of course I know that Hasbro's licensed now. They're having their little. They want to sue everybody, I guess, whoever chooses Joe's. But you know, back then, and don't get me wrong, the old Joes that looked like the old Action Force that looked like GI Joes or that were almost the same as GI Joes they look very cool, and those are Action Force, and a lot of people could tell you those are Action Force and that these are not. But I mean, you can't go wrong with these characters, and I know some of them look like the characters from GI Joe, like the new one that comes out with a beach shirt, but it's opened up. They're all like, "Oh, that's supposed to be Chuckles," and blah blah blah. But
I can see what Bobby Vella is doing a wee bit, but he's yes, you're right. He's making these figures his own, which is really good. Remarkable.
I just dropped something. I can't get it.
Remarkable. You're having a shocker.
I dropped something and I can't reach it because of my surgery. So I got to remember that I can't. Yeah, I know. I can't do much. But anyways, but yeah, no, they're looking great, and you know, some people are saying that the vehicles are going to look a lot better than the GI Joe vehicles. They may be right, and whatever they're doing, people are buying.
Oh yeah. Oh God, yes. The indication of Bobby Vella doing these action figures and giving it to GI Joe is phenomenally funny, but very, very well done. To be quite honest with you, I mean, yes, I mean you're right. Some of the action figures have correlated to what some of the characters in GI Joe are. Right? I mean, he came out with a lot of the Arctic line, which I thought was brilliant.
Yeah.
Right? And then I think
Sergeant Slaughter, of course, Sergeant Slaughter owns his own licensing for his name, but I know that the Action Force did the Steel Brigade, and that's actually GI Joe, and I'm like, oh, well, we'll see how that goes. And then, like I said, I don't know whose channel I was watching. They were showing that character, and it's funny that somebody came out and says, "Oh, look, it's Giggles." Instead of saying Chuckles, it's Giggles, and I was like, "Hey, that's a great idea. Call that character Giggles. Screw it." I mean, a lot of military people give themselves some kind of nickname, so I mean, why not?
I mean, Linda's right. They
are hard to find.
Do not find them here in New Zealand either, Linda. So
no. Oh, wow. Well, I don't.
Dan.
So I got to say, choose between GI Joe or Valaverse. It's GI Joe all the way. And Dan, that it was actually good to see you, and thanks for being here for us. And I agree, Dan. I what you see back there, that's GI Joe. Of course, I have two of these Action Force, but if I have to spend my money on something, it'll be GI Joe because I was brought up with GI Joe, not Action Force. So, and I'm not saying anything that there's anything wrong with Action Force because there isn't. I'm looking for the old school Action Force because it's almost like a reproduction of GI Joe, especially like if you have the Fang or the Hiss. They made their own for the SAS, and I like them. They're cool.
No doubt you'll be getting the HasLab GI Joe thing.
I already have it. I already have two funded.
Yeah,
I funded
that's
it.
so
I
good
have
on you,
two.
mate. Oh my god, that's impressive. Yeah, my god, that's
Yeah, I
impressive.
funded two. Well, because I tell people, a lot of people have been messaging me because they know I love the GI Joes, and they ask me, did you back the Hiss? And I'm like, oh, of course. And I got two of them. And they're like, so did you get two for the Dragonfly? It's like, yeah, I'm gonna keep one in box and open up the other one. And they're like, well, is it worth it? I go, think about it this way: if you're looking at the campaign, it shows you the tiers for the next stuff. Now I know we're at 12,000 something, so we already got. The cool thing is we already got the funding for the Dragonfly and for Wild Bill. We're close to 13,000 to get to break the tier 1, which is a Night Force Ripcord. Right after that, we have to break the next tier, which is 16,000, and we don't know the character yet. But it's gonna be another GI Joe. They just showed it. It's a special ops. They said special ops or secret ops character. Then at 19, and the reason they went high on 19 is because, of course, the Hiss made 22, 23,000 backs. It's another GI Joe character. Okay, so you're getting, if we were to hit, let's just say we hit 21,000 and we get the whole tiers broken, right? That means without the Dragonfly, we're getting 4 GI Joe figures. And right now in the States, a GI Joe figure is ranging about close to $25. So that's $100 for 4 figures right there. So you're actually getting the Dragonfly at $174 instead of $274. So I mean, it's worth it. And these action figures are going to be boxed. The figures are going to come in the box, and they're going to be boxed with their numbers, and that's very cool because, to me, and in my the way I'm seeing it is, this ripcord that's coming around is a Night Force, which really they never made a Night Force ripcord back in the 80s, but I'm okay with that. They did it for the new HasLab Sky Striker. They did a Night Force ripcord, but I would love to see more Night Force for tier 16 and tier 19,000, because when the original Night Force Joes came out, they were a Toys R Us exclusive, and you couldn't find them anywhere else but Toys R Us. So they're hard to come by to find the 80s ones now. So just imagine if you were to just put all Night Force for these next the next 2 GI Joes, because Ripcord is already a Night Force. That means you already have.
Oop. Did I lose? I might have lost him. Yeah, did too.
I'm back.
I'm back.
Yeah,
So,
sorry, I don't know. My internet's bad here. So that means you're getting Big Ben is going to be a Night Force, which is kind of weird because Big Ben was never a Night Force back then, but that's okay. And then you're getting Ripcord. So make the other 2 Night Force, and it's kind of like an exclusive all over again. You won't get them anywhere because actually, no, Linda, they're ranging from 21 to the most I've seen. If it's a single package, they're up to $24.99. The most maybe $27.99, depending. 35 would be more of the deluxe packages, like your Scrap Iron, your Snake Eyes. They're at $39.99. Crocmaster was about $39.99, and if you're getting something like the with a vehicle, they're mostly like at $49.99. Yeah, well, see, Outback was hard. Which Outback are you talking about? Keep on collecting. You're talking about the one with the survival, or are you talking about the Tiger Force?
Right.
Because
Yeah.
of course Tiger Force was only Tiger Force was Target exclusive, which I love that Tiger Force. Um, a lot of people didn't like to pick them up, but I tell them because they're like, I don't remember it in the line. Well, it was never a part of the U.S. line. It was actually a part of the U.K. line because he was Tiger Force in the U.K. and that's cool.
Yeah. Survival.
Survival Outback. Wow, GameStop has been getting them lately. Keep
I'll
on
be right
collecting.
back.
You should have waited on that because a lot of these are coming out now a little bit more. I got mine at original price. I think I even have an extra one on that one. I have it somewhere. I have a bunch of figures that I need to put up, and I haven't been able to. My toy room has been at a stop because I can't do much.
I'm
Sucks.
always changing mine, JJ. So yeah.
Well, I can't even change mine. I can't even pick up anything from the floor right now. But eventually, it'll be worth it later on. But yeah, I'm in South Florida, United States. Where are you two from? P.G.M. and JJ.
Oh,
P.G.M. is. Go ahead and let them know where you're from.
United States, where are you? I am from a country called New Zealand. I speak in an English accent, which people can actually say the most sexiest accent of in the world. On the list. I'm just kidding. No, I come from Wellington, New Zealand, Dan, and I live on the North Island of Wellington, New Zealand. And yeah, I'm 4 foot 3, 5 foot. I got long hair, and I like short walks off long piers. Or is that wrong? Sorry, that's yeah. JJ, over to you.
Over to me. Okay, and then I'll tell them why. I'm actually from Texas, United States. Dan, so I'm actually a Southern guy. I don't have a pier to walk to. I walk by a border, I guess you could say. I'm actually in a border town, but nothing here. That's why PGM and I have decided to name this Nerd Talk from the Other Side of the World because I'm on the other side of the world from him, and he's on the other side of the world to me. So we became very good friends, and we've decided actually the way it worked is he wanted to do an interview with me, and I wanted to be in the interview and or live stream. It was an honor, and we agreed on a lot of things. And it went the first time we spoke, it was like a 3-hour live, and it was nonstop, and we weren't even getting tired. And we're like, JJ, it's already like 1-2 o'clock over there. It's like, oh yeah, like all right, then we'll stop. But we what we're here for, Dan, is we're here to talk about things that are happening through the pop culture world, just like how we were. If you weren't here earlier, we were talking about the original French Connection with Jane Hackman, and how Disney wants to remake French Connection, but in a different way, where they're going to take off a lot of the originality. And we're trying to do Land of the Lord of the Rings. Yep, that is true. I think the next time you should come out with the soundtrack of Lord of the Rings. That'll be cool. Yeah, no, it is very cool.
Yeah, I am.
Really?
Yeah,
You're 5 foot?
yeah, I'm a short bloke, as they say. I'm a short
Really?
bloke. Yeah. So,
Is that common in New Zealand?
no, we have taller people.
Okay, I'm just like, well, I thought I was short in the States, but I guess I'm not.
It's probably due to I'm going to blame it on
Thank you.
smoking.
Keep on collecting.
I don't think it was. I think I was just born short, really.
There's nothing wrong with it. You know what they say? They're the ones that can hide in places that a tall person can't. Just remember that. Remember that.
It's I don't mind it. I didn't like it when I was a kid. I thought I wanted to be taller, but I had problem. I had complex problems because I didn't like my big nose. I want so that
Nah,
passed.
it's not big.
That passed. Yeah. So
Wow.
um um hell,
Linda
I wanted.
Linda's husband is Michael Jordan's height. Wow.
Well, I don't have a husband or a wife, Linda, so I can't answer that question. So yeah. So um um. So,
But yeah, that's what, and we wanted to discuss about this last time to the people in the chat. You know that the reason why we call it Nerd Talk from the other side of the world, because we're both from the other side of the world, and I think it was great that we came up with that. You know, Pete didn't see it that way. Peter thought just because when I told him from the other side of the world, it's like, well, yeah, it's referring to you, JJ, and I'm like, no, it refers to both of us. Because you're on the other side of the world. It's not just me in the live stream; it's also you.
Thanks for bringing.
Well, I'm not gonna leave you behind. I'm never gonna leave you behind. You know.
I know. Hey, Mazza.
So, hey, Darth Mazza, how you doing, Mazza?
No, yes, I kind of, sometimes JJ, I misconstrued. It goes in my head and comes out the other way sometimes.
Yeah,
but,
it's okay.
it's funny because you're right. I mean, we are poles apart, right? But we do agree on a hell of a lot of stuff. So that's what we've got in common, right? And it's mainly pop culture news and news of Star Wars and everything else, like what JJ just said. So it's a good, healthy discussion. We we're not gonna be here because we do it every month, right? One every month. We're not going to be here arguing countless times, right? Because that's not anyway who I am. I like to have a good, healthy discussion, and JJ's like that as well. I'm got to say, he's a nice, kind guy. He agrees on
same to you.
It's pointless arguing when
well, that's agreed upon. So pretty much what Nerd Talk from the other side of the world is about is we discuss things, and it's about a agree to disagree. But we try to, what we do is we talk about a topic that I might disagree to and he might agree to, and I'm going to listen to his agreement to say, well, you know what, I agree. We both agree. Or I might disagree to the situation and he's going to understand why I disagree to it.
Yeah.
And whether I change it to a disagreement or not, it's okay. But it's never going to be like, you're wrong. No, you don't know nothing. It's never going to be like that. It's always to where we both want to agree. We want to make something positive. Or something negative into a positive, and something that is positive, we want to keep it positive.
Yeah,
even though sometimes
we're friends, so we're gonna make it.
Even though we were being negative, even though we said negative things, we're saying negative about the remake of the remake of the French Connection they want to do. It was still a positive because we agreed that the original is history. So that's what we mean. So that's what we were trying to do for y'all in the comments, and we enjoy that we talk about this, and we enjoy that y'all are here with us, even though it's late over here. It's already going to be midnight over here, which I'm not even tired. That's awesome. We both agree.
We can stay on. We can stay on. It's
I don't mind. I don't mind. We only do this one. We only pretty much, guys. We only do this once a month.
Yeah.
I mean, Peter and I are always on Instagram talking to each other, which is great. But it's not the same as this because I do miss talking to him and getting to see him. This is what I enjoy a lot. So I remember he was telling, and it's funny, guys, because I'm sorry, guys, I enjoy the format, but a fight to the death is always the most. One day, I guess.
What was that? Who said
that? Linda.
What? I'm sorry, guys. Enjoy the format, but a fight to the death. No. JJ would probably win, even with an injury.
No, I don't think so. But
unless I bite his foot off like I did, like the Hobbit did it, and No, that was Gollum.
No, he's in the land of the Lord of the Rings. I'll lose there for sure. Yeah.
But no, I
I'll
mean,
lose there.
but no, I mean, it's a good, healthy discussion. It's fun. We again, you guys in the chat are wonderful. You get to actually, have your say as well. And
Uh-huh.
and a good question, Dan, saying that where do I come from and where does JJ come from? We really didn't really
Thank you.
address that, did we? In the first couple of days, a couple of we
No,
introduced it.
because we weren't worried about that. I mean, we're not worried about it at all. But I mean, when people ask, they ask. I mean, honestly, what I loved about this live stream is that Linda came in and said some things that was great to talk about, like Anakin's Force Ghost, the whole. There was another thing that she actually put there that we didn't really discuss, and she has a point, and it's about the change of armor for Boba Fett, that they changed it to Beskar, but you know, they're always going to explain something with the ding on the helmet, and I agree with that. I don't see how Boba Fett can have Beskar, but it is what it is. And what did you say it was, Linda? Let me go back. You said this still. She said something with a D. What was it? Durasteel. Durasteel. So they changed it from Durasteel to Beskar.
Oh, okay. All right. Right.
Peter is in Lord of the Rings. It's like Peter lives New Zealand where the Lord of the Rings was filmed. I was like, yep.
Yes. I mean, some in some cases, Linda, I agree with you, but some cases I don't. But you're humorous in a way. I'm kidding, Linda.
Well, Linda, the thing about Linda, she's very serious about her Star Wars, and we got to respect that. I mean, she knows her Star Wars. I respect her because she knows her Star Wars. She does.
I'm kidding,
She
Linda.
knows her lore.
If you want to fight me, fight me. What do you say?
Fight to the death.
To the death. You're more than welcome. You probably win.
Okay, we'll go like this to the fight to the death, like this.
Which way? That way.
Yeah, there you go. Let's face it, we're all good. We're all pod people and thought the same thing and agreed with everyone in the world. It would be a boring place. That's true. That is true.
What was that?
Darth Maza.
Oh, they didn't click up. Oh, there we go.
There you go.
That is. So I'm reading to myself. It's pretty rude.
It's okay. Nah, don't worry, buddy. I don't see it as rude. Just you go ahead and do what you got to do.
As we went through the same thing and agreed with everyone, and world would be a boring place. Exactly right. You send that to Linda. I'm sorry, Linda. I couldn't resist, Linda.
Oh my goodness, you're gonna have a fight to the death with Linda. I'll tell you that. That's what she's trying to do. She's trying to spice you up to have the fight to the death.
I know. I'm terrible. I'm terrible when it gets things like that. But no, it's. I like questions like this, Dan, because I mean I haven't met you, and it's to see where we come from, who we are, and what the show's all about. Because it's I can't rave enough about JJ because he's a bloody nice guy, and I do miss this. Miss this because it's something I can actually talk with him too as well with all these subjects like today, and with Kathleen Kennedy because it does. We all talk about it in YouTube channels, right? And different various states. So, and we get to do that on our show, right? Which nerd talk from the other side of the world, right? With JJ and P.G.M. Brilliant, right? So every month is fantastic. It's great, all right? So it's been said by JJ, reiterating it, but
So another answer I want to give to Dan R in case if he asks in future references, what does PGM and JJ mean? Those are our
Right.
initials for our name. Well, my name is actually when I had my own stream. Actually, I still have the channel up, but I haven't done anything in a long time. I was known as John Joker, but since I'm retired from my show, it's JJ right now. And then of course, uh, you hear me say Peter because the P for PGM is Peter. So, but I have
Yeah.
to stay the PGM.
Yeah. I mean, you can say Peter, you can say Pete and PGM. I'll say JJ. You know,
Not looking for trouble, but I prefer Sebastian Shaw over. Thank you, Dan. Thank you. You're in the right show then, because that's
yeah.
how we are. We both agree.
You've just
That's
actually
you got
yeah, got
you've
us
got
both.
100 in my book because you said about GI Joe that you follow GI Joe, and now you talked about
Yeah.
Sebastian Shaw's
Mm.
Force Go. So you're
By,
hitting
by the
you're in the
by the way, JJ has put something on his channel that it's not J John Joker's channel. To say, but he has been, and I actually caught this as well on your channel, which is a really good thing that you're having a panel discussion on mental health with T3. So that was on
oh yeah
so
yes.
the live stream. So if you want to go over and check those out, there some of them two are up on JJ's channel as the mental health uh, panel.
Good one.
So
Keep on collecting. Thank
so
you for actually saying that. It's actually with the Overgrown third graders podcast, which is T3 collects and Zal's toy vault, but we call him Dre, or his real name's Andre for the ones that know us.
right.
And they do mental health every month to discuss. So pretty much the mental health awareness is for
Mm.
anybody that's here, for you, for anybody in the chat, whoever wants to come and just talk on or listen, and sometimes we talk about what has happened to us and how we feel, or sometimes we want to give some spiritual or positive advice to just know that you're not alone, that we're here for y'all if you ever want to discuss things. I know Peter messages me on Instagram about like how you doing, like he's asked me how I'm doing, but I'll ask him how he's doing. And sometimes it's not about the show, it's about how we're doing
Yeah.
ourselves, plain and
Yeah.
simple. and
Yeah.
and that and I've always told him, you ever need to talk, just let me know.
Yeah.
I'll
Same here.
reach out. I know
Same
it
here.
was kind of difficult, thank you,
Um,
but that's how that's what Overgrown third graders podcast is about. It's about mental health work. I mean, it's not just about mental health, I'm sorry,
mental
mental health
illness.
awareness.
Yeah.
It's also a podcast where they talk to other YouTubers, which I gotta say, check it out, guys, on June 22nd, on the Overgrown Third Graders podcast. T3 actually has got a YouTuber who's really, really well known, who's come out in Collider, who also was in the John Campea show. He's actually going to be interviewing Robert Meyer Burnett.
Oh,
That's
wicked.
pretty awesome.
Oh man, I'm
That,
gonna watch that because
yeah,
I've
that's awesome.
yeah,
I congratulated on T3 on an Instagram chat that we
you
have. And
Tom Ryan Burnett.
yeah, that I was just so amazed because I loved Robert Breyer, Robert Meyer Burnett when he was with Collider, and when he was actually the heel in the trivia challenge. He was a
Oh,
heel, and his laugh. I mean, he's a
because
phenomenal guy, and I can't wait to see that.
I caught Kaleido when it was just on the cusp of Christian Harloff
Yeah,
and
Mark Ellis.
and then it was gone completely. They changed the whole format, right? And then I got into watching John Campea for years, and now
Yeah,
that changed completely, right? And then now it's Robert Meyer Burnett, and he's still got his show, and
Yeah,
and
he
so
left the John Campea show to make his own show,
yeah,
which
yeah,
it was sad to see that happen.
yeah,
But
same.
I mean, even John Campea understood, and I think it's great that they're still having that mutual agreement. But Robert Meyer Burnett is a different
But I'm
person
sorry,
that,
I'm going to disagree here. To agree, there has been some reports on reports on that. Yes, they're still amicable together, but have been
uh-huh.
reports that uh, I don't know if they're true or not, but the reports on John Campea because of he's getting he got rid of Robert Meyer Burnett, right, and then he's still keeping what's her name.
Ashley or
Right. What's her name? It'll pop in my head soon. She's still on there. But Christian was there a couple of
Becky.
times. Christian Harloff was still
Yeah,
there. But the thing is that have been reports that yes, they're still kind of talking to each other, but the fans just don't like it, right? They just don't like because it was such a good thing to have Robert
yeah.
Ryan there because he gave his analytical um, uh, uh, um,
His
things.
perspective.
That's the one I got right in my
His
head.
perspective.
But I mean, I suppose I agree in that, but I'm not hating on John Campea, but it was such a move too fast in a direction that people just did not like it because he was getting rid of all these guys, right? Robert Meyer Burnett, and you don't see Christian Harloff on there now. You don't see Amy on there now, or the guy who's doing his own show, who was John Campea's assistant. He's got his own show now. He's gone, right? And all this kind of change, people
But
just
are you
didn't
talking
like.
about this when it was the John Campea show or when it was Collider?
No, it was, no, John Campea. Sorry. So John
Okay,
Campea.
well, I mean, John Campea show was just John Campea show.
Yeah,
I don't think the rumors were real because I know that Robert Meyer Burnett has been wanting to do his own for a while. Of course, Christian Harloff has been just a guest appearance because remember John
yes,
Campea left Collider because Collider was bought out by I forgot his name, and he's the one that changed the whole aspect of the show, and that's why Christian Harloff made his own show and the Schmoedowns and all that, and they all disbanded. But they're all, I think, in talking terms. Another good example is like Jeremy Johns. Jeremy Johns with Awesome Tacular. He went to Collider for a while and then decided, well, no, I want to go back to Seattle, and of course he left to Seattle. But I mean, it happens. It happens, and
yeah.
I don't think
Sorry
it
to.
was rushed because John Campea's show's been around for 2 years. So
Yeah,
that's hey, I mean that's a
sorry,
lot. If
sorry.
somebody,
Yeah,
I
sorry,
mean,
it's misconstrued. I didn't
no,
want
it's
to.
okay, not a problem. And then to answer Linda's question, how hard was it to do those trivias wearing the mask? Well, it wasn't difficult. The issue is that I was just sweating in that mask that whole time. That all the sweaty juice, the yucky juice was always right here on my chin area. So when I took off the mask, all you would hear is the splatter on the floor, and I'd be like, gross. So I'd shower right away. John Schnepp was the man. Yeah, unfortunately, it was passing. It was just sad. It was just sad when that
Yeah,
happened.
I mean, enough of that because I probably misconstrued that whole conversation.
No, I mean, I was hearing rumors too, but I don't really think they would. I mean, because here's another thing you got to understand with John Campea. In a way, if you think about it, he's been screwed before. Okay. So he's going to try to take care of his show, but he's going to take care of people in a respectful way and respect himself in a respectful way. He's never been rude. Hey, Off World, I haven't seen you in a long time, buddy. I hope you're doing well. Sweat juice. Yeah. So when the whole Collider thing happened with him and he left, he never disrespected Collider. but he felt betrayed because he's the one that pretty much started Collider when it was AMC Collider. So, if there is misconstruction going on, it is called the John Campea show. It's his baby. He's going to take care of what he's been doing for so many years and not be screwed over again. And I don't think Robert Meyer Burnett would screw him, but if that's the case, but I don't really think that's the case. I feel more like Robert Meyer Burnett wanted to go his own path. I think John Campea was his master and Robert was the apprentice and said, no, you know what? I'm ready to take the trials. I want to be a master now, and did it.
Well, the thing is that with Robert Meyer Burnett, he's building up a network. He wants to build up a network of different other YouTube shows, which is pretty good because it does build,
well, I mean, what is he? A writer, director? All that.
Yeah. Good to have you with us off world. I just popped in. So hello. I have watched John Campea nearly from the John Campea start when he was in his shed, but not too much. So he's been doing it for a while.
Like I said, I've known John Campea since when Collider was actually AMC Collider.
Yeah.
So that's been years. Oh, I mean, I'm telling you, that's when it was him and Schnapp, and I mean, you didn't have Harloff and Mark Ellis yet, or John Roca, which has another one that I like. That John Roca's been doing his own show as well. Perry Nemiroff, I think she has her own show too. A lot of these people that were with Collider are actually going on their own, and because they made a name. They made their names with Collider to where they can go off and people will follow them because they talk about what we love, and it's the pop culture that we love, and that's awesome.
I mean, I follow Christian Harloff now and still Robert Meyer Burnett, so
but again, for the overgrown third grade podcast to have him, it's going to be wonderful. I know it's on Spotify. I think they do it on Twitch and on YouTube. So if you need me to send you the link to that P.G.M, I can do so whenever they set it up. All right.
The thing is that I do actually want to add to the mental health kind of thing that I've actually said to T3 because I've been in their chats and their discussions, and I've got a couple of close friends who are one's a psychiatrist and one who teaches almost psychiatry to things, right? And one thing I do when I stress it's a good show with JJ and T3 and all these guys. I do want to express, please go and get some professional help if you're dealing with mental health issues. Right, that's most important. I've been going to now a counsellor for my mental health issues, and it's done me wonders. No, I'm just kidding. And go and see these guys because if they're opening up and making you aware of what they've been through with their mental health issues, then they could be, to put it in a dramatic sense, saving lives. And that's all I say. So
if you don't mind me adding a few things when it comes to that, now P.G.M said he went and got professional help. Now maybe some of us do not have the funds for professional help. The next thing I can just say to you guys, that if you need somebody to talk to, find someone who will talk to you. Or no, let me rephrase that. Find someone that you guys can talk to, but they will be the ones listening to you. And not be telling you, well, no, think of it this way and blah. Because sometimes we don't need somebody to tell us things. We just need somebody to listen.
Listen. Important. Listen. So
listen. Yeah. So sometimes you want to just talk your heart out. And again, if you guys have me on Instagram, if you need anybody to talk to, just
Mm.
Shoot a text. I'm here. I will listen, and then at the end, when you're done, all you need to say is, what kind of advice or positivity can you give me now? And I'll give you. I mean, I'm not gonna tell you how to run your world, no,
Mm.
but
Mm.
I will give you whatever the
Mm.
necessary needs to where I'm gonna listen and understand, and then give you the advice that will be positive to make you feel better. And then from there, you'll find your way. And that's
Yeah, I mean,
that's the key thing about the mental health is,
I'm not
you
paying
got
for
it.
my counselor. There are
Oh,
avenues.
well, that
There are avenues that you I mean, you don't have
okay.
to pay for a counselor. Even in the USA, in US, that if you live near a church, or you've got a citizens of an advice bureau or something like that, or even you got Sally's over there, they may have a counselor on hand, and they don't usually charge for those. So, but JJ's right. Yes, absolutely right. Find a friend, or find someone who you can trust, to talk to, because sorry, I'm reiterating JJ's point. I shouldn't really do that, but the thing is that it is
That's
important
okay.
to just sit there and listen, right? And just, just sit there and listen, and just don't say anything until they ask you a question, right? Uh, um,
Hmm.
be a supportive branch instead of uh, chiming in, or being or fall, or, so if that makes any sense. Anyway, probably doesn't. Sorry, JJ. You're right. I'm probably
Look,
rehashing.
it's
So,
okay, but keep on collecting it. Said it best because Linda said, I found finding people to talk at the hardest to find, which is kind of true. Keep on collecting says, correct, Linda. People want to fix you, which is lovely, but sometimes we just need someone to listen. And you know what? That is the point that I'm trying to say. Listen. I am one of those that I'm not going to be there to fix you. I will listen to you and help you to feel better. That's just who I am. And I just want to say thank you, P.G.M, for talking about the mental health, because that's what's also important.
mm,
And for any of y'all that if you want to speak out, you're more than welcome to. If you're not ready yet, that is okay. There's nothing wrong with that, but just don't let it build inside you to where
mm,
it's gonna hurt
mm,
you more than help you.
mm,
One of the I don't know if it's just maybe a male thing or a human thing or just a cultural thing, but like us Hispanics, um, which I'm kind of breaking away from, but us Hispanics have always been more of the types to be macho. Don't show your feelings. Don't ever cry. There's no reason to cry. But the truth is we're human beings. Yeah, we want to be strong and support us men want to be strong and supportive for the people we love. But when we keep building stuff in without anybody seeing it, the day that you see us break down, you're gonna be like, "What is going on with you?" Like people start worrying, and it's because we're just letting things go. It
mm,
happens. I mean, my dad. I've never seen that guy. I've never seen that man. That guy. Sorry, that man cry
mm,
ever in my life. I never saw him cry until the day that my sister was having some major, major anxiety where she looked like she was being possessed or something was possessing her. When we were doing a prayer, I kept my eyes open during the prayer to make sure everything was all right, and I just saw tears coming out of his eyes, and that just ripped me. I didn't show it. I didn't show it in front of people, but I got emotional because I've just like, what is happening to my dad? He's never been like this. He's a strong man, you know. So
yeah. It's
just
funny
whenever you
how,
guys are ready.
yeah. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Yeah, I mean, even the strongest man can break down and cry. It's no, uh, yeah. Don't be ashamed of that. you know,
Or
um,
macho. Have you heard of the continent of Australia? But Linda, there's no such thing as macho. You guys got to be machines down there. You guys are facing saltwater crocodiles and funnel web spiders and birds that have poison. And I'm like, what the hell? It's like you guys got to be more than macho up there.
and guys still dressed,
Yeah.
guys still dressed in khakis and stuff like that. It's terrible. So yeah, um,
Gilster, are you still here?
I think he's still here. Um,
There's something I want to ask him. He said he had a. Well, if you're still on here, Gilster, you said you had a downfall with John Roca. Unfortunately, why? I would like to know why.
let's hang around and see if Gilson's there, so we can actually.
I know, right?
Oh, there we go. Yes.
Yeah, he's there.
Yeah, he's on here. Okay, Gilson, did you hear what Jojo's just actually asked you? Come on. I wanna see your answer there, Gilson. Come on.
I want to know. I mean, I just want to know his opinion. I'm not going to change him. I mean, a lot of people didn't like Roca, and a lot of people still love Roca. So it's just
Well, yeah,
interesting
funny that
that
we
he said he had a
all have our
downfall.
favorites, right? We all have our favorites and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
there's no
yeah.
harm in that. It's just I watch John Campier. I watch listen to John Campier. I listen to watch Robert by there we go. There we go. Because of a message, we had a disagreement on a subject. Okay. Well,
Hmm.
that doesn't tell
Wonder
me a
what.
hell of a lot. Yeah.
Well,
So,
it's something that he didn't agree upon, but
right.
I guess Gilly will tell us later on that. Keep on collecting. My mate told me it's all in your head. Matt says it's not real. You know what? That's not a real friend, or 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 anything. Keep on collecting. Some people just don't understand how what we go through at times, and everybody's different. So you gotta find a way to vent off your things. We're human. I mean, it happens. Just we all just do it differently than others. I mean, the way I cope with my mental health is that I realize that I'm one, like Off-World said, if you're a person of God, I look for God, and um, I always try to remember that I am fortunate to have a roof, to things that I want that I really don't need, and I can get the things that I need for not just me but for my family, and others don't. So when I think about the less fortunate, I realize, hey, I got to get myself out of this depression or out of this negative feeling, and it helps. And I thank the Lord for that. And I'm not saying that that's the way you got to go. I'm not saying that. It's just what I'm saying of how I do it. But once you find your path of what gets you out of that, it's gonna it's gonna make you a better person, and it's gonna make you feel better. uh KOC. That's what I'm gonna call
Well,
him. KOC.
it is really, really lucky that you have good friends in this community like that. It's Matt, because you have me and JJ and everyone else around you who
Hmm.
do listen, right, and do care and do love you if you have that kind of a problem. Me as well. I mean, I've met some wonderful, wonderful people, including JJ and yourself and everybody, who can sit there and listen wholeheartedly and not judge you and just be there for you, right? Because that's the key. I mean, if you're Christian or not Christian, I think everybody's got a compassionate and loving heart and within
Yeah.
themselves to just sit there, shut up, let you talk, and you just listen. Right? That's right. And come up with some good solutions, but not to be a hero, but just to be clear and a good solution-minded person to say that I know someone who can help you. Right? here's that person's phone number. She's a counselor, he's a counselor, right? And if you, what I find and found, talking about this stuff, if somebody actually does come up to you and you have this, and you're listening to them, right, and wholeheartedly as a friend who you can trust, you sit there, listen, you don't say anything. This is what I see, right? And then you find, I think you find an in to actually say these things. You don't want to interrupt that person. You just want to listen. If you can find that, and if you think they're finished, right, you don't say that, oh, I know how you feel, because you probably freaking don't in the first instance, right? And if you do know how they feel, don't say it. Just do not say it, because they don't want to hear that. Okay, right? But if you find an in that conversation, or when you're listening, very genuinely and lovingly say that, do you want to talk to someone like a counselor, right? Okay. If they do, refer them to a counselor, right? Go the extra mile and do it. Don't just say it, but do it, right? If they don't want to do it,
Yeah.
right? If they don't want to go to a counselor, be there for them, right? Be there for them and just sit there and listen to them, right? And don't say a word, right? Until
And you know what? There's another thing that Linda.
well, that's me. Okay, that's me. So
Yeah.
do it how you want to do it. Sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sorry, I'll finish my thing. So I'm doing it. So
Nah, that's my fault. So what I was gonna say also is like, Linda said it earlier, and I that was one of the things I forgot to mention, was not just listen, but never judge. Never. No one's perfect in this world. So whenever you're gonna listen to somebody, don't be with a face or be like, oh man, this person's like, no, you don't do that. We all go through things in life. That's what makes us grow in life. That's what makes us change in life. And to have somebody just judge you, that's just ridiculous. So don't ever do that.
Found a lot of channels on YouTube that we can all comment and joke when appropriate. Yes, across the globe, that bring us all together. I have close friends that at times just don't relate. Yeah, yeah. Well, again, yeah. That's what you sometimes get in a community like this. It's just you get good friends around the world who listen and who relate, have a joke and stuff like that. And sometimes, yeah, your friends, just some of your friends here, and where you are. Sorry, sorry, that way where you are. Sorry. I'll go
No,
that
it's the other way. Yeah,
where you are.
you had it right.
I don't know where you are in your world, right? Don't relate. So that that's what I'm trying to say. So you're right in a way, but sorry, JJ, my direction.
No, it's okay. I was actually looking at Offworld's little joke. He's like laughing out loud. Nice poke when appropriate. Yeah, my joke was bad. No, it wasn't. That's why I was smiling. No, yeah, and going back to I guess that's why I don't have my channel, guys, anymore, because there was coming to a certain point where I was doing the channel because I wanted ratings, and I'm like, wait a minute, I almost forgot why I did YouTube, and the only reason I did YouTube was to get to meet people, just to make friends. That's all I wanted. I was over here thinking about the 1K and then trying to think about getting monetized so I can get gifts for y'all. But sometimes the best gift in the world is just like what P.G.M and I have, is the friendship. We don't have to get each other gifts. Sometimes just saying something to one another is already the gift that we need to, that a lot of us don't always see, but you can see, to say, man, thank you so much for turning my frown my upside down frown or whatever. I don't know the saying goes anymore. I'm getting too old, guys.
I know. I know.
My frown upside down or whatever. But that is you know and I'll get to that. Keep on collecting. Yeah, that's the best gift. YouTube is not great for mental health. Yeah, you're right about that. Just depending on how you use YouTube. Me, I use YouTube to talk, discuss about things that I love or that we love. And that's that. I'm not looking for numbers. I'm not looking for fame. I'm not needing money for that. I work. That's what I went to school for. And that's where I bring reality back into YouTube. Is so you know what kind of person I am or who P.G.M is and the stuff that we discuss about, because I'm not perfect myself. I have my temperaments. I have my flaws. But those are things that I never want to bring out to you guys, because I want y'all to know that you have someone in me that you can always count on if you ever need any kind of advice or any kind of positivity. I just want to be good with everybody. I just pretty much, plain and simple, my monetization is you guys, and the only thing I want out of it is that for all of us to know that there's still a lot of great people in this world, and it shouldn't be changed just because of negativity. I mean, we don't agree to things sometimes, but we could still be positive with each other, and that's what matters.
Thing is, I'm going to throw my 2 cents in
Well, thank you, Linda.
With Matt with that. Yeah, so, mental health, yes, it's not because I can actually admit to that too, with my channel as well, with mental health. It's not good, but really it can be really good on a platform of like now JJ's doing one with T3, and T3's done on his channel, that talking about it, making people aware. You can use that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great tool because people are sharing. Okay, but yes, when you have your channel, and sometimes if I've had it, but I've had some really good advice from other YouTube channels saying that to keep me going. I mean, and mine's a small
P.G.M,
channel.
continue with the continue. I'm sorry. Continue with the discussion. Let me go find my charger. I'll be right back.
Yep. So, Matt, it's for me, listening to you and listening to Shabby and JJ, and because he's he's on live streams and just having fun. I'm not now out for getting so many views or subscribers anymore, right? I did actually hear. I think you fellas are a nice guy, but I heard something that I thought was funny, and I said it out loud. Luckily I was on air. I was dreaming, but when he was saying that. I haven't been on on stream what it was, or and I only picked up one more subscriber this month, and I'm going. Okay, you've got 1,400 something subscribers. I said it out loud. Come on, I'm a small channel. I've only got 128 subscribers. I'm not worried about subscriber rate, but I still look at the subscribers. But I found it very quite jovial, but I was a little bit angry at their comment. But anyway, I mean, beside the point. Yes, you are right. You are right that having a channel can be a bit of a hindrance on our mental health, but if you keep it fun and entertaining, it can work. YouTube to escape after a long day at work also blends in with Instagram and maybe Twitter. Yes, exactly. If you're saying the point that that yes, it is an escape. It's a brilliant escape because you know it's entertaining if you can do it right and not have that diatribe crap in your brain going, oh, I'm worried about my subscriber rate and view rate. Anyway, I digress. I think some, but numbers with some channels like real life friend numbers you hit a peak where that's the sweet spot. You may gain some, you may lose some. Yes, exactly right, Linda. Exactly right. I mean, again, I'm such a small channel, and I was going from 127 subscribers down to 126, then went back up to 127, and then went out back down to 126, and then went up to 127, and then went back down to 126, and then I do a live stream, and it went up to 128. I'm going, bloody hell! This crazy internet. It's just you know. Anyway, and here's JJ. It's just
Sorry, I was hearing everything. I had the headphones on,
no,
but
it's
I was
129.
looking for my charger.
Thank you.
129. You're at 129. I
Yeah,
thought I saw 120. See, it says 129. It says 128 on mine. That's weird. But anyways, but who wouldn't you rather 128 honest friends than just 128 subs?
yes, yeah. I mean, I loved Shabby's take on this, and Mark Shabby Geek's take on this is that really, if you enjoy what you're doing, you just do it anyway. YouTube, right? You're not thinking about subscribers. Yes, they all come, right? And you need subscribers to actually have a channel, but you know, but if you enjoy it, enjoy it. I mean, I'm enjoying talking to you, JJ, and this is a stream that I enjoy because it's another show. You know,
That's what matters.
It's fantastic. Thanks, Dan, for the sub. Yes, but I'm not overly going into the sub my YT studio going, oh, I must get more subscribers. You know, I mean, for you, JJ, I think you made the right decision on leaving your channel, right? Now you've chosen a different path, and you've chosen a freaking great path, being going on to streams like Reptiles, Rebels, and Games, and having this mental health streams, and coming and you know and being a good friend of mine, and going on to doing this show. It's brilliant because you've turned a corner of being that John Joker show or channels, and you know, going racking your brain saying that I must get more views, I must get more subscribers, right? You've turned that corner saying that no, I'm closing it down. I want to spend more time with my family, right, and love my family and stuff like that, right, and spend more time with my friends, right, and then you've turned that corner, that beautiful corner, right, and saying that no, I want to join my friends on their streams and have a great damn freaking good conversation, right? And be there for my friends, right? That's a really fantastic corner because it means that you're open to anything and anybody, right? I've seen you on Jeopardy with John's stuff, and you're having fun, and that's all about, right? We forget the fun of being a YouTube tuber, right? YouTube tuber, all right.
Yeah.
We shouldn't forget.
No. But I agree with you.
Yeah. So I'll stop talking.
I agree with you there 100%. No. But I'm just saying, like, I agree with you 100%. I mean, a lot of people choose a route about money and stuff, which there's nothing wrong with it. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But in my case, when, you know, I had people being like, you know, I think what you should do in your channel is these videos, or you should do a toy hunt. And I'm like, why am I going to do a toy hunt when I don't find nothing in my stores? Why am I going to be boring somebody to death? I'm not going to do that just for views. If I'm going to do a toy hunt, I want to do a toy hunt where it's going to be, you know, I find somebody's like, if anybody needs anything, message me right away so I can put it in the cart or something like that. But not because, oh, I want to do it for views. I don't care about that. You know, I didn't come onto YouTube for that. I got into YouTube because nobody knew who I was. I was a mystery, and people wanted to know who I was, and now you know. So
Yeah,
thank you.
there is.
Dan R says John AJ has a collection of figures behind them. Peter, do you have a collection of figures as well? There you go. He's a Star Wars and Indiana Jones guy, and I think he's jumping into Marvel. Personally, me, I'm all over the pop culture thing. Dan, I have my Marvel Legends over here. I have some of my Hot Toys on shelves. This is my G.I. Joe panels. You can see. I have my DVDs. I have a lot of my McFarlane and DC Marvel DCs and some other stuff on the floor that I need to set up, but I haven't been able to. I got my Darth Vader helmet, my what is his name, Captain Cardinal helmet, my lightsabers, which I finally opened up my Darth Revan one, P.G.M, and
Oh, yeah?
I love it.
Oh, yeah?
Let me get it. Yeah, heavy sucker too.
Oh, look at that.
The Darth Revan, and what I love about it, it's purple, right?
Yeah.
Then I just click these two buttons,
Ooh.
turns red. Yeah, and then you press another button, and it's like if I'm fighting with somebody. But if I want to go back to purple, just hold both buttons. Very beautiful one.
Because
The hilt is really nice too.
Darth Revan was a Sith, and he became a Jedi, didn't he?
I thought it was the other way around, but
Oh, was it the other way
Linda,
around? Okay. All right.
was Peter correct? Was he a Sith and then became Jedi, or was he a Jedi and then became a Sith? Darth Revan. I think Linda would know this.
Yeah.
She's the guru.
Okay.
But yeah, this is
That's
a nice lightsaber.
That's
So
a
I have
nice lightsaber.
4.
What's the hilt look like? It looks
And
really
I'm
different. It looks really
it's
different.
like this.
That's awesome hilt for Darth Revan.
Yeah, and then this part opens up. These 3 right here.
Sorry, I'm not making.
So,
I'm not. I should make JJ big, but I'm having trouble with it. So, brilliant
yeah.
lightsaber. Is it comfortable to actually wield?
I don't know how the heck he does it, but I guess he had big hands because it's, with here coming out, you have to hold the hilt on the bottom, but I don't know how he did it on the top. So it is a little difficult to wield it. Not like Kylo Ren's or like Rey's or Count Dooku's, which I have. But I mean, I guess there's a way. You just gotta get used to it. But as you can see, the way I'm like it's hard to wield. Like down here, since it's a little bit smaller, you can wield it down here. But then up here, where you hold it, it's kind of like you have to really grip it.
It's a two-handed
sword. Was Jedi, then neutral, then Sith Lord, then redeemed. Ah, okay. So we were both kind of in the same page, P.G.M.
Oh, okay. All right. So it's like a broadsword then. Two-handed broadsword is bigger. It's like a bastard sword. They just held them two.
Yeah.
Not like so.
Not like the other ones where you can just hold them easily. And his is purple. So if you see it blue, it's not. It's purple.
Ooh. How much did that set you back? Can I ask?
See.
What was it?
Excuse me?
How much did that set you back? It was
it was $278.
It's not bad.
Actually, no. That was retail price. I actually had a coupon for $50 off. No, I had 2 coupons, 50 and then 55. So it came out to like no, wait a minute. I had the coupons and then there was a 30%, 20% off that day at GameStop. So I got it about almost close to $200.
That's brilliant. Oh my god!
So they knocked off almost like $70 something. Yeah. Well, I had a lot of the. Well, they're not going to be called Gamer Pro points. They're going to be called GameStop points. So I always racked up a lot of points from buying, and I had a good amount to get a 50. And then I have that Gaming Pro monthly subscription, and they give you $5 off every month. So I had my $5 off of that, and at that day it was 20% off that day. So on anything in the store, so I was like, huh, I'm getting this dang sword for sure. I said I was gonna get this sword. They have an Obi-Wan, and I want to get that Obi-Wan now. So
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
over here, I could not afford to get just too expensive over here. Too expensive over here. So absolutely too expensive. So paying through the nose. I
Yeah,
mean, you
I
can.
mean they are expensive.
Mm.
They are. I guess because they've changed them so much to where you you this opens up right here, and you unscrew this little thing here, this little black thing, and you take it off, and then you turn the blade and take that out. So you can only, if you want to just use the hilt, that's all you need to use.
Right. Yeah.
And but I don't see the point of that. And then also these new ones, like if I have another one, let me see if I can get the ray, see if it works here. And the ray one is very heavy. This one's real light compared to the ray one. But let me see. I'm gonna go red, of course, because I like Sith more. I think when you hit them together, yeah, that's what they do. And the old ones didn't do that. So yeah.
Nice, JJ. Nice.
Thank you.
Wow. Yeah. I
And
mean,
this is Ray's hilt. It's like the one she made. And this sucker is heavy. This is like maybe, it feels like 5 pounds. So
because she changed from light colour, now she's a yellow, isn't she? Yellow Jedi or something like that. So,
well, she made her own. I
yeah.
mean, she was always using Luke's or Anakin's lightsaber, I guess you can say. I mean, the Skywalker's lightsaber. So,
Yeah.
and I do want the Princess Leia one.
So I'm
Do
gonna
you have any Black Series helmets, JJ? Yeah, software. I only have 2. I have the Darth Vader, and I have the Captain Cardinal one. I do want to get 2 more. There's an incinerator one, no, an artillery one, and then they have the Mandalorian, the Death Watch or whatever they are helmet. So I would like those. Neutral was Raven's battle number deaths were unacceptable from Jedi or Sith armies. Oh, see, I told you she knows her stuff.
and
See,
Ray, she says,
499 here for that saber. Yeah, I love Knights of the Old Republic. I love that. That's where they well, no, I don't think they should make movies out of them. They'll mess them up. So just leave them be. Yeah, I don't understand why toys and collectibles are so expensive in Australia and New Zealand.
yeah,
Would
well,
it be the export?
yeah,
The
the export.
exporting that makes them expensive?
Yeah, I mean, we have correct me if I'm wrong, Matt or Darth or Linda, that we have a big GST, so it lumps on with the price as well. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I could be totally wrong with that, but it's just that, yeah, our prices are huge. Um, um, yeah, I'm not a financial whiz, so I could be wrong.
Yeah,
Uh, but those are nice. Those are nice lightsabers here, JJ. Absolutely fantastic.
Muzzle
Um,
says 499.
right,
Thank
Moses.
you. Thank you. Well, let me put them up real quick. And then the way that you can stand them, that's really cool. So I like the new stands for them. So let me put them back real quick.
Nice. I just picked up Clone Trooper Phase 2 helmet off World Adam. Says.
Oh, that one's out. Yes, that's the other one. That's the other one that was out in GameStop the other day. Ow, 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 ow.
What's that? What's that, Mazza? What do you say, Mazza? Yeah, lost you. Oh yeah.
Here's
It's
Kylo's. Kylo's looks pretty cool. It's really heavy as well. That's what I like about these. And then with his, you just get this right here. He has a button in the back, but he just pulls this one down, and then they go. And it turns on. And it
I
has
think
that button. Oh,
a friend of mine's got.
that's the only thing.
Yeah. So
Then the button in the back is what makes that part like if he's hitting another lightsaber. And then this one too, when you hit it, it does the hit. I have to have another lightsaber, but yeah, that's the Kylo Ren one. So it's pretty cool.
yeah, this is much more of a because he's got two like a proper sword. Those two little prongs.
Yeah,
So it's like a proper sword. So it's like a knight.
yeah.
A knight.
Well, he
So
was a Knight of Ren, so
yeah. Well, there you go. It's just yeah. I fell into that one. Fell into that trap.
but yeah, Vader Saber is the only one I have. Go Vader. Yeah, I want that one off world, and I actually pre-ordered the Yoda one. I want to see how that one looks and how it feels because it's probably gonna be all small. You're gonna be like, so that'd be cool.
What was it? I love Kylo Ren's lightsaber due to the unstable crystal. Yes. Yeah.
I
Got a
love
great sound, that.
stable
Unstable. Yeah.
crystal. Yes, yes. That's so in a way, if you notice it does kind of like act like if it's not like I don't know if you see it from there, but you can tell that it's kind of like flaring in a way, like it's showing a little bit of white. Not like the other ones that are just clear. This one shows like it's having trouble staying on. So yeah. And then my Count Dooku was hung up. That was my first lightsaber. Was the Count Dooku?
Oh, Count Dooku's is brilliant. I love Count Dooku's help. Count Dooku's help's nice.
Yeah. Well, you know who made that? Who came up with that one, right?
Yeah, because it's like a
You know who came up with that hilt?
no.
He
Who
did.
came up with?
Christopher Lee.
Oh, did he? Walking stick.
Yeah,
Kind of
because he had an ancestor. He had an ancestor that was from the something. He was saying about it that he had an ancestor from back then that had a sword that was the hilt was curved, and it was one of his ancestors. So he wanted to bring that hilt into the Star Wars world, and him use it. And I was like, man, that is awesome. And you know, when first watching Attack of the Clones back in 2002, I didn't like Count Dooku at first. I didn't care for the dude. But then starting to know him a little more and watching and rewatching, he's almost one of my favorite Sith. I don't know if he was Sith really, but he was one of my favorite dark side characters, to be honest. I thought he was really, really good. I love Christopher Lee, how he played him, and it was awesome to just have him, you know.
Well, he thought
He was a
Tales of the Jedi was good with fleshing his story out. I think with Count Dooku getting into the dark.
Yeah,
dark
that was
side
really good
because he wasn't. He was on the council. He was a Jedi, and you know, so that politics kind of view around the Jedi kind of warped his mind a little. And he kind of fell out of favor with Qui-Gon Jinn almost with that, but still held Qui-Gon in high regard. I think so. I think it was just internal fight, but I think that the betrayal of the Jedi, you can see that with the Jedi Council and the Tales of the Jedi was brilliant. Actually, a really good a good turnaround for that character. And then you see Christopher Lee come into the movies
There we go.
with fierceness, but he was still on the side of Qui-Gon Jinn, because
Well, he understood Qui Gon. You know,
okay.
he loved Qui Gon. You know, that's why he said, "I wish I was with him."
Well, better at least you can hop right into Weta Workshop. I'm assuming you
Let me
can
put this
buy
back.
their stuff cheaper than here in the US. Would love to collect their labyrinth statues, but man, oh man. Well, Weta Workshop. Weta Workshop. It's not really a store. You can go into Weta Cave. You can go into Weta Cave, Dan, and buy little trinkets, I suppose. But Weta Workshop is a workshop with full of Richard Taylor stuff, like swords and chainmail and stuff like that. So it's not really a shop. You can go into Weta Workshop, but around the corner from Weta Workshop, you can go to Weta Cave, and they sell little statues like Gollum and hobbits or something like that. So it's a big tourist attraction, Dan. So a lot of people from around the world go to Weta Cave because it's a store, a small store, and pick up statues, little trinkets to take home with them and stuff like that. So, yeah, if that answers anything, but yeah, you can't make a lightsaber with a workshop, I'm afraid, because they didn't have anything to do with Star Wars. So, I think they had a lot to do with probably the editing in some instances, but not doing like Stan Winston does for Terminator and stuff like that. So, yeah, yeah.
So
So,
actually, you know what? Now that you're mentioning about workshops and all that, actually, this gentleman that I don't know if I know some of y'all probably have met already. He's a new upcoming YouTuber. His YouTube name is actually Millennium Workshop. His real name is Rex Henry. He actually has 3D printers. He actually made me the Darth Revan helmet.
oh wow,
Because I told him about that I bought the thing. So he also made me a Darth Nihilus helmet mask. Well, not a helmet. It was the Darth Revan mask, and then he made me the Darth Nihilus mask as well. So I'm gonna have two from Knights of the Old Republic. But check him out. He's doing a life-size battle droid. Looks pretty
wow.
cool.
Okay,
Out of printing,
right.
really
Go and
really cool.
subscribe. Go and subscribe. I'm gonna have to. Right. It's nearly hitting the 3 hour mark, JJ. So 9 more minutes. So I'm gonna do this. I might have to wrap it up there. If
Okay.
that's all right with you. Yeah, my friend.
I'm fine with that if you have to.
Uh, uh, okay, here we go. Just on that. Okay, so cool, Pete. I would be visiting the Widow Workshop. Ooh, what's that? With a cave. Cave Monthly. Yeah, well, again, yeah. Beware of their prices. It could be cheap, it could be expensive. So, yeah. But ladies and gents, well, I am going to wrap it up here because I really badly need to go and get something to eat. So, thank you for.
You need to eat. Yes.
Yeah,
Sorry about that. We didn't
so,
know.
again, go and watch JJ on any stream, including this one, of course, or shows like Rebels, Reprise, and Games. He's on with Ed. Haven't really seen a stream from Ed for a wee while, have I? So,
He's been calming it down now. He's been I think he's been focusing more on videos. The lives he hasn't really done much anymore. He hasn't really had much time anymore from what I've talked to about, and he seems like he's always busy. So I mean, I understand. And then summertime comes around, and he gets too busy on summer, so probably won't see him much on lives.
Check JJ out anyway on this channel, this show, which is Nerd Talk from the other side of the world every month, and we get to talk to with you or to you or at you, probably not at you, about pop culture stuff, what's going on in the news, whether we disagree or agree to disagree or not. We love doing this. We love doing this.
Yeah,
doing this.
This is awesome.
This is awesome. Also, check JJ out if you have not yet on his channel, his old channel, because he's got 2 streams with T3 talking about mental health issues, which is really good, and making people aware, or men and women aware of mental health issues, and they tell you stories, and it's just a really growing stream, because we all need to actually be comforted by a good friend or listened to by a good friend with mental health, regardless of what you've got, anxiety or depression or stress.
Yeah, thank you. And,
so anyway, JJ will be here for anyone to talk to on Instagram. He's on Instagram. What else are you on, JJ? Are you on Facebook? Right? Yes, he's on Facebook. He's gone dark.
no Facebook. No Facebook.
My
This
Facebook.
Instagram, I do have Instagram, and I do have a Twitter, but I hardly use the Twitter.
Yeah,
but mostly you can find me on Instagram. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who's on here, and thanks to Dan R, who says well, he's got to go to bed. He goes, you two guys are awesome. Glad the algorithm steered me toward your show. So we hope to see you again, Dan. It's great to meet you. That's the point of the show, is just to get to meet great people and just discuss things that are going on in the pop culture world. And we already have another topic that we're going to discuss about next, maybe in 2 weeks. Hopefully, maybe we discussed maybe every month or every 2 weeks. So you'll see us either 2 times out of the month or 1 time out of the month. So
yeah,
or
whenever we're probably ready to actually do it, we could actually do it in 2 weeks' time. You could see us in 2 weeks' time. So,
again, this one was my fault because I couldn't wait anymore, and he told me to wait till I healed. But I was like, nah, we gotta get going, bro. I miss talking to you. And I don't like not seeing you and talking to you, and I want to discuss.
JJ's a slave driver. He got me. I'm just kidding.
I'm in pain right now, but I don't care. This is helping out with coping with that. So,
but yeah, I mean,
so thank you all.
Again, it doesn't really have to be a monthly or 2 monthly thing. I mean, we could just do once, or take 2 weeks out, and we'll be on streaming here talking to you guys, right? I mean, why it's not set in stone a month or 2.
No,
I mean, it's just when we're here, we're here. If we've got things we need to do in our lives, we can't do it. But I mean, the stream will be up with JJ and I anyway, talking about everything.
Yeah.
Do I go on a wee bit, don't I? Yes. People haven't said that. Saying, Pete, you go on way too much. Yeah. But I love doing this with JJ because, yes, the name fits. Nerd Talk from the other side of the world I'm from this side of the world, he's from that side of the world, and really, excuse me, it basically connects, right? And that's simple, really connects. And JJ and I connect on quite a lot of things because, so
Mm-hmm.
even toys, even toys. So and anyway, yeah, so check JJ out. Check me on the P.G.M show. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. Excuse me. My guests next week is Mark Sherwin, GeForce 20 Racing, coming up pretty soon, the 16th and 17th. And down the track, I will have two special guests with me on another P.G.M show live. Is Shanti and Josh from Pop My Culture, so that'll be quite interesting and fun to do. Also,
Awesome.
I will give you this on my show, please, because it'll be live as well. I am doing a one-off special with me, Stu from Universal Toy Collector, Shabby Geek, and Sai from Mega Fandanga. One-off show all about my favorite thing is music scores of epic movies and hit movies such as Top Gun and everything else. So quite looking forward to that. So join me live this month coming up. So it'll be good fun. And anyway, that's all my plugs. It's about a laundry list of plugs, JJ, that I should actually write down. But yeah. It's
That's all right.
but love you, JJ. You're awesome. You're a brother from
Love you
USA.
too, P.G.M. Same here.
And from for you guys in the chat, you're lovely people. Thank you for joining me and JJ. JJ, as he had really good points, and me waffling on. That's it. But
No, we both had great points, so thank you.
Linda, absolutely, as always, you do actually bring fantastic good points that we can talk about as well. It's fantastic. Also with Matt Offworld, thank you for that. Dan, great to meet you. Thank you for the sub. I've got to say that. And thank you, Darth Mother. Mother, that's quite hard to say when you're talking this fast. And I have had 2 cups of coffee today. So, but what's that? A little bit. Oh, anyway. And we'll say goodbye to JJ, Linda. Oh, there he is. Yeah, there's your initials. There you go. I didn't see that.
Yeah, she said bye. Hope to see you guys again in the next one. And the next Nerd Talk from the other side of the world.
Yeah, so I'm going
to meet you too, Dan. Yeah, appreciate you.
Yeah. Cool. I'm going to leave that with a great show, P.G.M. Although you forgot JJ. There we go. Just kidding.
It's all right.
Laughing Waffling. God bless you all. Have a great evening, great day, or wherever you are on this planet. We will see you next time on what's the show, JJ? We will see you guys on
Nerd Talk from the other side of the world.
That's the one. Goodbye. God bless. Take care of yourself.
Bye.